Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Burlingame. It's a small-town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. This is Mark Lucchese, also known as Mark at the Mic, and my guest today refers to her nonprofit women's social club as Burlingame's best-kept secret and hidden gem. And it might well be. No Instagram, no Facebook, or any other types of social media to get the word out. Yet, this club has over 200 members from Burlingame and Hillsborough and is celebrating their 75th year anniversary, so they must be doing something right. My guest has held positions from venue coordinator to party planner and is currently public relations outreach advocate. And now my conversation with Rosanna Myers of the Burlingame Hillsborough Neighborhood Club. Rosanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Great. You know, is it okay if I start with a little fun fact?
Of course.
Great. You were born in Lucca, Italy. My last name is Lucchese, which I think loosely translates person from Lucca, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
My son, when he visited Italy and went to Lucca, he said the name was all over the place, and he took a few pictures of a hotel or something like that. Kathy and I have yet to make the trip. But the kids, oh yeah, they go there. They've been there. So anyway.
It's beautiful. You'll have to make that trip.
Yeah, they say that the hills in Sonoma remind a lot of folks of Tuscany, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah, so I will make the trip one of these days. Absolutely. So can you tell us how an 8-year-old girl from Lucca wound up here in Burlingame, California?
Yes. Well, my parents moved here many years ago. I was 8 years old when we came over, and we ended up living in the marina in San Francisco. And my mom had an uncle who lived in Burlingame on Alvarado. And in summer times, we were invited to go over to his house for dinner. And I remember those times because as a child, we were able to go outside in the front and play till it was dinner time. And that was something new to us because in San Francisco, my parents didn't allow us to do that.
And you know what? It's pretty much you don't do that anymore down here. Things have changed so much.
They have. Yeah. They have. But it's still a wonderful community.
Oh, it sure is.
Great for raising kids. And when my husband and I married, and he's a native San Franciscan, when we married and decided to start a family, I knew exactly where I wanted to move to. So that's when we came to Burlingame, and it's now 42 years ago.
42 years down here.
Yes.
Terrific. Good for you.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were a teacher, right?
Yes, I was a kindergarten teacher for most of my 37 years in teaching, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great profession.
It is.
As I told you earlier, my wife was one as well. So,
yes.
All right. So when we first talked over the phone, you mentioned that your club was Burlingame's best-kept secret and a hidden gem.
It really is.
And I kind of believe that because I've been here over 65 years, and I've never heard of the club. Why? What happened?
Well, they don't advertise, really. You know, when COVID hit us, we lost a lot of members, and I've been on the board since I retired, which is 10 years now. And the talk was that, well, let's see how we can recruit some members after COVID. Let's open it up to neighboring districts. Let's open it up to all the cities that are around us. But I was thinking, along with others, that then it's no longer a neighborhood club. It would really change it. So I asked the board members to give me a year to see if I can recruit. And I recruited over 100 members just by advertising in the Burlingame Rec Center's brochure.
Really, that's a great brochure, but you got that much impact, huh?
I really did.
Good for you. And is the membership total around 200 right now, or is it more or less? It is.
Yeah.
Good for you guys. So you're celebrating 75 years, right?
75 years, yes.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit of how it originated?
Yes. A lady by the name of Martha Chick, who moved with her husband and family from San Francisco in 1950, decided that she wanted to welcome families that were moving to the neighborhood. So she formed this club, and she invited newcomers to come and meet together at a local restaurant. And she decided that they should form a club so that they could socialize and develop friendships. And that's exactly what happened. At one point, she had over 700 members.
700 members.
700 in the club.
Okay. She greeted what, over 12,000 newcomers over 25 years?
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Wow. And she had a very unique and interesting way of greeting newcomers.
Yes,
so was there some
she
kind
did.
of basket or welcome basket?
Well, when my husband and I moved to Burlingame in 1983, we were unpacking boxes and we hear a knock at the door, and there are two lovely ladies with a basket, and they're welcoming us to the neighborhood, and they told us about all the great places that you could dine, and they gave us coupons for, gifts in the local grocery stores
Right.
and boutiques and so forth. And they really, really made us feel welcome. And I thought, gosh, how lucky are we that we've moved into a neighborhood who welcomes us immediately like this. And that went on for quite a number of years until the population really started to grow. And then in about the early 1990s, the club's name, which was originally Burlingame Hillsborough Newcomers Club, then changed to the Burlingame Hillsborough Neighborhood Club.
Right. Do you still have that tradition of welcoming people, though?
We don't, unfortunately, because the numbers have grown so much that it really would be hard to do that.
And how did you know that there was a newcomer coming to town? You go to City Hall and ask somebody for a list of
That's what she used to do.
Wow, good for her, or good for you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Where does the club meet?
We have a board meeting once a month here at the library, at the Burlingame Main Library. And we used to meet in people's homes, but our board numbers grew, and so it became a little bit difficult to do that. And so we meet at the library now once a month.
Yeah. Is there any kind of memory of the club's history that stand out for you over the 75 years?
Well, I've been in the club for 10, and I can tell you that as in my current position of welcoming new members to the club, I've received a ton of wonderful feedback. As it is these days, when you retire, you sometimes give up those friendships that are from work, and then it's sort of like starting new again.
Right.
And it's difficult to do if you don't have, for example, children who connect you to other families or things of that sort. So this is the way for women to connect with each other in a very, very simple way, because by joining, they can be part of a lot of activities in small group situations. We have over a dozen activities that they can be a part of. And if they don't see anything on the list that interests them, they can start a new activity very easily.
Can you tell us some of the events and programs that the club offers?
Yes. Once a month, we have a luncheon out at local restaurants, and we have speakers at those luncheons. And then we have some of our activities are book clubs, bocce, bingo, coffee with friends, several cooking groups, dining out groups, bridge, pedro, mahjong, hiking.
Wow. Goes
We
on.
have theater groups, we have movie groups, and we have game nights, and we have something that's very unique. It's spontaneous events. So, for example, if one of the ladies has something that she's interested in and would like to attend, like a concert or something of that sort, but she doesn't want to go alone, she'd like some friends, she lets us know, and we put the word out and let people know, so-and-so would like to do this on this date. If you're interested in joining her, contact her, and all of a sudden she has an instant group of friends to go with her.
It sounds like you do a lot of these things at people's homes as well, right?
Yes, we
like
do.
Like you mentioned a cooking thing?
Yes, we do.
So does it ever get overcrowded at somebody's
Well,
home?
yes. And as a result of that, we had 22 people who were interested in doing some of these activities.
Yeah.
And what we've done is break those groups up into smaller groups. So now they're much more manageable. So we have groups of 8.
So say it's a cooking class or cooking get-together. So you would have groups of 8 over a certain period of time, but not in the same evening, right?
Right. We would have groups of 8, and then we take turns. We rotate, taking turns hosting. So if it was at my house, I would pick a theme, let's say French cooking, and we'd all come up with a recipe and make the meal and bring it over, and we'd have lunch together and discuss our recipes.
Yeah. And again, what inspired you to join the club? It was you guys were moving into Burlingame, and some ladies greeted you. You heard the knock on the door,
Yes.
right? Okay. Your involvement, you said 10 years.
Yes. At the time when the ladies came over, I had a 1.5-year-old, and I was pregnant with my second child.
Gosh.
So I was not in a position to join a women's social club. However, a neighbor of mine said, "Oh, you should definitely join our Mothers Club." And little did I know that the Mothers Club was actually a branch of the Women's Club. So I joined the Mothers Club, and then when the children were of school age, that was the age where you came out of the Mothers Club at the time. I never realized that was part of BHNC.
Yeah.
Until way later, till I, became a part again, and then realized, oh my goodness, not only were the 2 ladies who greeted us part of this wonderful organization, but the Mothers Club was as well.
Yeah. So you pretty much got involved in the actual BHNC after retiring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And then you've served a lot of I've named some of them in the introductions, right?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what some of those positions were about?
I started out with being corresponding secretary, and one of the friends that I met from the club asked me if I would join the board and have that position, and I was happy to. And that's another way to really get involved and meet people. And then I kind of graduated to a little bit more complex position of finding venues for our monthly restaurant and speaker series. And then, as I said, when I wanted to advertise so that we could recruit more members to keep our Burlingame and Hillsborough neighborhoods together, I then became PR person.
Let me ask you then, why are you not using Instagram and Facebook and Next Door Neighbor, all of those, all of those social medias to promote?
Well, we put it to a vote, and so far, our members choose not to go that route.
Okay.
We really want to keep it local as much as we can.
Okay.
And that was the reason.
Yeah. Did you ever serve as president?
I've been recruited every year since I joined.
Yeah.
But I really feel that I can be of better service in a PR position. I really love meeting new people.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy.
Does the president's position change every year, or is it an ongoing situation?
It changes every year.
No
yes.
kidding.
Yes.
Great. And without prying too much, what is more or less the average age of a member today?
The average age is 60s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think retirement age, but certainly we have members who are in their 40s and 50s as well.
Right,
But
right.
the majority
It's
are.
just hard to attract young moms because there's mothers clubs.
Exactly.
There's PTA, there's sports, there's so many things.
Yes, exactly
There's so
right.
many things going on.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard from longtime members about how the club has impacted their lives?
Well, yes, absolutely. And actually, I've heard many from new members as well, because I'm the first contact that they have. And so after a few years of joining, I have lots of feedback from these ladies. And it's wonderful because they said, it's changed my life, because I really didn't have a group of friends in the area, whether they were new to the area or just recently retired and sort of lost contact with their friends from when their children were younger. It's kind of like starting over. And so this is kind of an automatic way to make new friends very easily. So I've had lots of feedback from women who've said it really has changed their lives.
Yeah. And I would imagine for somebody that maybe doesn't have a husband anymore,
Exactly.
it's been a great thing for them. During the peak time, during your 10 years, what's been the largest amount of members?
Probably in the higher 300s.
Yeah, and you mentioned that pandemic kind of wiped out some of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too bad. But you're going to make a comeback.
Yes, we are.
So over the years, there's been a lot of changes socially, et cetera, et cetera. How's the club been able to adapt to those changes in the community and society?
Well, back in the day, and this I read through newspaper articles that we've saved in our historical box of items. They used to have huge balls, at the big hotels in the area, and they were quite extravagant events. But those have all been cost prohibitive in these days.
And I'm going to butt in just for a minute. I did see that for your 25th anniversary, it was at the St. Francis Yacht Club, San Francisco.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that would be one of those kind of expensive type of thing. Was there anything for the 50th? I couldn't find anything.
I didn't see anything for the 50th as well,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what they did then.
But because of times changing and everything, you've scaled down we
have.
the big dinner dances and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I did put a dinner dance on last year, though, and it was very successful.
Good for you. Where?
At the Bass Cultural Center.
Great. My wife used to, when she was teaching up at St. Veronica's principal up there, they would use that a lot for entertainment.
And that's actually where we're going to have our 75th.
Yeah, that's great. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think that's terrific. Good. Some of the challenges that the club has faced over the years, and how are you trying to overcome them? I would imagine membership is a challenge, right?
Yes.
How about all of the ladies getting together? Do you ever have any drama, as they say?
Actually, we have such a wonderful, very friendly, open-minded group of women. I'm just so happy to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I have not ever experienced any drama.
Good.
Yeah.
You get to a certain age and you leave the drama behind,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, we're all women who just enjoy having fun.
Yeah.
We're all very active, and as I said, there's so many interest groups here.
Yeah.
And we encourage people to, if they have other interests, just bring it on board.
Yeah. Okay. Well, kind of looking ahead, what does the future look like for the Burlingame Hillsborough Neighborhood Club?
It's looking good. I think we'll continue to have fun together and increase our membership. We're not interested in having it so large because it's nice to have small group activities.
Yeah.
So
what activities do you participate in?
I started a bocce group.
Do you play right here at Washington Park,
yes,
or you play at somebody's home?
Washington Park.
Yeah, so you call up the rec center, reserve that or something?
We do, and they said if it's not reserved, we're allowed to play.
So how many ladies would show up for something like that?
12 to 14.
Good for you guys. And is there lunch there? Or do they bring their own
lunch
or what?
No, we just play, and then everybody does their own thing. We play for about an hour and a half, which is really fun. And then I started a dining out group because some of the ladies are still working, and so it's hard for them to do afternoon activities.
And I think I read that you're going to the Iron Gate.
We are, yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places.
Yes.
Good for you guys.
And I have, coming up this month, an evening activity. I have dinners scheduled at Plucky's, the new restaurant on Broadway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's a fun place.
They've been open just, the first of the year, or in the fall? Did they open?
In the fall, yes.
Yeah, good for you guys. Do you try to stay, I know you're going to the Iron Gate that's in Belmont. Do you try to stay more Burlingame, or do you kind of venture out?
We venture out, yeah. We just like a variety. It's fun to try new places.
Yeah, and it's once a month?
Once a month.
So do you call ahead to the owner of the restaurant or the manager and ask for a set menu and try to get a price worked out, or how does that work?
No, that only happens for the monthly luncheons with speakers. On the other dining out, or there's a group that's called Exploring Food with Friends, whoever's in that group rotates the responsibility of being hostess. So that person, if you're hostess that month, you pick the restaurant, and then people who are signed up for that activity will be contacted and told about the event, what day, what restaurant, and so forth. And then you just make that reservation, and everyone brings cash and pays for their own meal. But meantime, we have a lovely dinner together.
Oh, that's terrific. What am I going to expect to pay?
Oh, well, these days, it's probably around 45.
That's not bad.
50.
Yeah, that's in the ballpark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to test you right now. Who are some of the speakers that you've had over the
Well,
time?
this month we're having a young woman who has been a landscaper in Burlingame for quite a number of years, and she's the daughter of one of our members. And you got me. I can't remember her name right now.
That's okay.
But we've had people who, such a variety. We've had the SPCA come and bring pets. We just had a gentleman come last month to talk to us about disaster training.
These particular functions, when you do have the speakers, is it a luncheon or a dinner?
It's a luncheon.
Okay, and that's held at the particular restaurant then?
Exactly.
Yeah, so they kind of reserve you a little back area or something?
Yes. We have to have a restaurant that pretty much is going to let us have the entire place.
Yeah, great. And then, so that's once a month. So you must have like a program director that does all of that, or what?
Yes, that's
tries
the
to find out who a
venues,
good speaker would be?
Yes, exactly. That's someone on the board who's got that responsibility. And we all chip in and give our ideas. We all have connections of some sort.
Right.
So it's pretty easy to get really interesting speakers to come.
Okay. You mentioned that you are going to try and drum up some members. So are you like the membership committee also? Or do you have a membership committee?
I kind of am the membership committee, which I love. I love doing my job.
Yeah.
We're all volunteers.
Nothing like
we all
putting a
help
little-
each other.
Nothing like putting a little pressure on yourself, okay?
No, I really truly enjoy it. It's fun for me. So I don't think of it as a job.
So 200 members, give or take. How many are actually active that will go to dinners or play
Right.
bocce ball or cards and all of that? 80%?
I would
More than
say
that?
I would say about 60%.
Yeah.
I see it all the activities I could do. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned the 75th club's anniversary. You're going to have it at the Bass Cultural Center in
Yes.
South San Francisco.
Yes.
How did you come up with that?
Well, in searching for places that could accommodate us,
How many are you expecting?
over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when is that going to be?
In May.
May. Great.
Yeah.
So the date is set.
The date is set and the menu's pretty much set. And we have special treats for our members for a celebration.
And do you have a deadline for when people have to let you know that they're going to be there? Or is that deadline passed or what?
No. We just reserve the space because we roughly know how many people will be coming. And then 2 weeks before the event, they let us know.
Yeah, great. Okay. Is it a dressy thing?
This one might be a little bit dressy, but our luncheons are not. It's pretty casual.
Yeah. Like business casual or something
Yeah,
like that.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, good. What makes the Burlingame Hillsborough Club, neighborhood club, special?
It's just a fun place to be a part of. If you're looking to meet some new people, meet some interesting people, this is the place.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to connect with other people who have the same interests as you. And as I said, if you have an interest that is not on our list, just bring it on, and we will make sure you get connected with a group of friends who also are interested. And it's so reasonably priced. In other words, the fees haven't gone up very much at all in all these years. It's only $60 membership for a year.
And is there something by the month?
No, it's $60 for the whole year.
That's like $5 a month.
Exactly.
That
Less
is-
than a cup of coffee.
That is what they say, dirt cheap, okay?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
So in saying that then, Rosanna, we're going to go back to almost the very first question. How does anybody know? I mean, how would my wife join this club?
And I think your wife would love this club, by
I'm
the
sure
way.
she would.
You can go to our website, and that is mybhnc.org, and you'll see all the activities we have available. And if you're interested in an application, that's on there as well. And that will connect you straight to me, and I'm the one who will welcome you and send you an application. It's that easy.
Yeah, so let's say my wife goes to a meeting or an activity. Are you going to partner up with somebody?
Yes.
Just so she doesn't feel like she's
exactly
a wallflower
right.
in there?
Yes.
And I'm saying this for all of the listeners out there that may want to join.
Exactly. So the first thing I do when I send a welcome letter is I invite the newcomer to our next luncheon, or if she can't make that, she could come to our coffee with friends, and that's just a drop-in place.
And that might be a home, or is it like a Pete's or something, or a Starbucks?
It's just right there. It's right in the plaza next to Lunardi's. It's the bakery that's next to Lunardi's.
What's the name of that? Okay, well, we won't worry about that. It'll come to you after the show's over. But folks, it's next to Lunardi's. I was a Molly Stone guy for many, many years.
I know you were. Gosh, I just blanked on the name. Totally. Anyway, we have coffee with friends.
Great. So they have some options, and you would pair somebody up with somebody so they would feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard for people to do that sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. And we partner them up with other new members, and I welcome them. I have them sit at my table.
Great.
Yes, absolutely. We make the connection.
How many ladies are on the board?
About 16.
Yeah, okay. And you meet once a month?
Yes.
And it's here at the library?
Yes, it is.
Terrific.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners about the club? I don't want to leave anything out. I want to give you a chance to mention something that maybe I forgot to mention.
Well, I think we've pretty much mentioned everything. And I encourage women who are looking for new friends and some fun activities to join in on, to just connect with us and check us out on our website. And then I'd be happy to meet with you and tell you more about it if you have questions. And then we'll get together.
One more time for the website.
mybhnc.org.
Simple enough.
Yes.
All right, it's almost time to go. How about a little shout out to family, friends, colleagues?
Hi to all my friends at BHNC and my wonderful family.
Good for you. Rosanna, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
I hope so. Thank you. I'd like to thank Rosanna Myers from the Burlingame Hillsborough Neighborhood Club for being my guest today on Burlingame. It's a small town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. And congratulations, ladies, on celebrating your 75th year anniversary. Thanks to my Minister of Podcasts, Mike Nagler, my Director of Marketing, Adrian Kwok Lucchese, video by the great Ray Tyler, and original music by Bray. You can hear more of Bray at braymusic.com. This episode was produced and directed by Shelby Lucchese. This episode was recorded at the Burlingame Library on Friday, January 31st, 2025. The Burlingame Historical Society copyrights this podcast, and no part can be copied and replayed without the written consent of the Burlingame Historical Society. And before I close out, be sure to look for my next episode of Burlingame It's a Small Town with Joe Baylock, one of the founders and editor-in-chief of the Burlingame Voice. So until next time, everyone, see you around Burlingame. It's a small town.